Okay.
So, first of all, I know you and we always have conversations about the significance of numbers, and I believe, I was having a conversation with my artist family yesterday, and I think it was the end of 2013, and we know 7 is, a holy number. We have like 7 days of the week. The 7 is used, quite frequently in the Bible, and we talk about 7 being the number of completion. And I look at, 2014, and 14 is, it's a multiple of 7. So I always kind of felt like, 2014 is like double completion. And I thought about it, it's double completion, so it's like exponential. And I said, 2014 is going to be the year of exponential growth. Like, we're going to get more than what is expected, as far as our growth. And I explained that to them, and it's really, really, now that it's, mid-2014, it's like it's been very, very, it's been a wonderful experience because everything has happened. It happens, but it's more than what we've expected.
Right.
And they're seeing it because we had this discussion then, and now it's like, wow, like it's really happening. We talked about all of this, and it's happening in front of our, in our face.
Mm-hmm.
But what I mentioned to you earlier about, I definitely believe in the law of attraction. And I was really, really struggling with, a lot of truths about things. Like, why was I so concerned about the truth of, all of these different things, life and career and financial success and all of these different things? And I said, God, who are you? Why am I here? What should I be doing? I was asking all of these questions from God, and I said, are you God? Are you Buddha? Are you Allah? There's so many religions out there. What, give me an answer. Help me understand. And I realized that, that when you're seeking something, when you're actually seeking something, that's the law of attraction going into play, because it's going to bring back what you're desiring. And I was desiring the truth. And what I learned is that the truth is really within yourself. And we have been looking externally for the answers to things when the answer is really within us. We've been built in a fashion that all the knowledge and all the truth and all the answers are really within us. We just really have to know that it's there or learn to search within. We're looking for all these external solutions to solve our problems when it's already within us. And so as I've been listening to more of the Abraham Hicks videos and audios, it makes sense. It really confirms all of the things that I've already thought and all of the things that I've already believed, and even expounded on some things that I really, really wasn't clear about. It cleared everything up. And so what I come to the conclusion is, that there's this idea of source. Abraham talks about source. And so source is beyond just the law of attraction. It goes above and beyond. So if you can think of the idea that Source is all-seeing, all-knowing, omnipotent, the greater, the ultimate level of love, the ultimate level of understanding, the ultimate level of knowledge, the ultimate level of sheer existence. And we as human beings, we have a stream, for lack of a better word, we have a connection to Source. And some of us use it on a daily basis without knowing and not being aware of Source. And some of us that know how to count beyond 10, which you and I understand where that comes from, we understand how to tap into that. So when we understand and know that we are connected to Source, and we're not separating ourselves from Source. It's not like Source is there and we are here. No, we're Source too. We're just a stream of Source, and we're manifested in a way that everything is quote unquote reality, what we see, our perception of things. We have these bodies that we walk around in, and we have our own vantage point of lives. We have billions and billions of people all over the earth, and we have our own vantage points and our own minds, and we make our own decisions. But once we understand that we're connected to Source, our abilities are pretty much unlimited, because Source is all-knowing, Source is God, Source is love, love is God. So you can't separate yourself from that once you understand who you are. So when you say that I am Source, or I am of Source, then I am love. So your perspective on life changes because you are really focusing on that one particular belief, and that's love. And that's when you're challenged, because you're challenged to love unconditionally, whether you're black, whether you're white, Asian, Hispanic, straight, gay, bi, old, young, crippled, blind, crazy quirks, if you're a murderer, if you're a rapist, if you're you are challenged with loving unconditionally, and that's what Source is. It's totally about love. So your purpose really changes. Money doesn't become your primary goal. Wealth does not become a primary goal. Those are just additional benefits of understanding and knowing who you are, because if you're Source, and Source is God, or you use it in different settings, it's all the same thing. You're a creator. God created. Source created. We're creators. So therefore, that's when the law of attraction comes into play, because we can create our own universe. We can create whatever we like. We can create whatever we want. But then, with great power comes great responsibility. It's not like, I have all this unlimited knowledge and unlimited ability to get what I want. But because you're love, you can't create things that don't fall into the purview of love. So you can't create anything that is quote-unquote negative or bad. You can't go out and say, I want this person to fall down and be sick. You can't do that. That's not in alignment with who you are. That's not in alignment with that stream and connection to Source. So as we're walking around in these bodies and we're understanding who we are, and we're waking up and become aware and becoming oneness, we become very, 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 very powerful. So all the simple things in life become elementary, and that's why I think the understanding of it is what it is, or I am where I am, or you're downstream. What's the big deal? Why are you upset? Why are you feeling this type of way? Get in alignment. Get in alignment with who you are. Get in alignment with being happy. Get in alignment with peacefulness. Get in alignment with being happy. Get in alignment with living a better life for yourself and for others, so that you're living out your potential, your biggest potential, because you're connected to Source. So you have all these amazing abilities and all these amazing you have this amazing understanding about life, and that's something that I've kind of come to understand just in the past 2 weeks. So I don't have down moments. I don't have moments where I feel defeated. I don't have moments where I feel weak and I feel challenged. I don't have moments where I feel vulnerable. I always feel powerful, and I always feel love, and I always feel concern for the well-being of all things. So one interesting thing that's happened to me is the first day that I started really listening to the videos and watching them, I went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and I was so compelled to run outside. And something just was in me that I had this huge desire just to be outside, to be, quote unquote, in the elements. And the second I stepped out the door, I realized that I had this heightened sense, this heightened level of senses and sensitivity to the things that were around me. Everything that I saw was on a different level. Everything that I smelled was on a different level. Everything that I heard was on a different level. And even the level of taste was different. I could literally taste the air. But it was like I could see my vantage point. I felt like my vantage point was not just through the eyes of Brad. It was through the vantage point of everything around me, like the ant crawling on the cement and the bird flying in the air. And I could hear the crackling of the leaves in the trees, and I can literally hear the wings of the bee that was flying by. And it was just it was like a great big symphony. And even, I'm near an interstate and a highway, and I can hear the cars driving by, and I can hear the jet planes flying over and cars on the local streets. That wasn't even out of place. It was just a great symphony, just to be a part of all of that and be aware and have so many vantage points and just revel in what was, quote unquote, reality in this body. And I think that is an experience that is something that Source enjoys. I gave a friend the analogy of a child, like, when little kids, sometimes they're growing up and they're by themselves, they tend to create these imaginary friends. And they interact with this imaginary friends. They talk to this imaginary friends like they're actually there, and they're just having a good time, having a great old time. And I liken that to Source. Source is that child. Source is that child, that innocent child of love and unconditional love. And we are really that imaginary friend. Source created that. Source created us so that Source has interaction, and Source can see things through several vantage points, and Source can interact with an entity. So in essence, we feel like we're all individual beings scattered all over this planet. We're actually a unit connected to Source, and it's that Source's creation that allowed Source to interact with itself. Right. So that's how liking the idea of man and creation and source and love and our ability, and it's just a whole new meaning to life.
Well, you said a lot, and I guess the first thing that I would want to say is, good for you, right? And I say good for you because of the number of years that we've been in this, right? So, and where you are, it's really challenging for me to find the right words because I know what that feels like to get at that point. So, and that's when things really, really start to really shift, right? When you really get to that point. Now, it's two things that you said that I kind of want to talk about because when you say you're connected to source, and you said that a lot, which is absolutely true. Now, for me, though, and we could talk about this, for me, I would go as far as saying that we are source. Because for me, what I realize is that that's one thing when it comes to people and when people talk about God or pray to God and all of that, they make it a separate entity, like it's something outside of ourselves. And I think it's
right, exactly.
It's right. So if it's not outside of ourselves, I think it is safe to say, and I do believe personally, that we are source. So it's one thing to be connected to it, and it's one thing to realize that you are that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. We are source. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I just worded it in a way that would give the perception that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, to sum it all up, as we continue to grow and share and do all the things that we do, to sum it all up, because you said everything, right? You just laid it all out there, so there's nothing for me to really add. So to sum it up, it would just be, and what I try to encourage people to understand or get to the point is our only job is to feel good.
Right.
That's it. That's really it. Our job is to feel good and that connects all the things that you said as far as, our creations and where our creations are based from and, the love and all of that. Our job is to feel good. That's it. So really, that's really what I want everybody to know, understand, and get to the point where, they can apply it and just be that. Because when you feel good, you are loved. All those things that you said.
Right. And everything else is it's just small stuff. It's not such a big deal because when you feel good, and you're doing things doing things and you feel good doing them, everything just kind of falls in place. Everything just falls in place. There's nothing that's out of bounds or out of place or out of whack. And everything that we do, as long as we're doing the things that allow us to feel good, in most cases, that's taking us down the road to being who we're supposed to be. You love to paint. You want to be a painter. You enjoy splashing all of these colors on the canvas, and whether it's abstract art or whether it's, oil paintings or any specific type of art, you enjoy that. And maybe your desire is to become a painter. Do that. You're feeling good. You're feeling great doing those things, and you just want to be a painter. You don't want a 9-to-5 job and have to work in an office every day. You just want to be a painter. You just want to paint. Why worry about the mortgage? Why worry about the car note? Why worry about the clothes that you're going to wear? Why worry about the food that you're going to eat? Be happy being a painter. Everything else will come. The mortgage will get paid. You will find food to eat. You will have shelter. You will have love. You will have everything that you need. All you're responsible for doing is being happy.
Right, and I think that why that is challenging for people, because as I talk to people, I think the reason why that is challenging for people because we don't accept the fact, because this is what it is. We want something, and it's down there, right? So what I want is over there. And I do believe that I'll get it, or I'll get over there to where it is, right? But the thing that gets the thing that gets people is the road or the space between where I am and over there. We don't know what that looks like. So for me, that really speaks to perspective, right? Because I know that I'm going to get there. So if you know you're going to get there and you're feeling good, the things that are happening as you're traveling or navigating to that space or over there, if you will, that's where people lose it, because sometimes those things don't look right. Right? Sometimes those things may not feel good if your perspective is not right. But what you're saying is if you just feel good and know that it's coming and know that you're going there, these things are just part of it. Because the biggest thing right now, what I'm encouraging people to do is to realize that life causes you to ask. So the 3 steps: ask, believe, and receive. Asking is automatic, and people don't really get that. People think that you have to really say it, use your voice to say it, which is not the case. I would say that getting clear is asking. So clarity is asking, but life causes you to get clear through the contrast, right? So this is what happened.
Exactly.
I really didn't like this, and this just doesn't feel good. So now that what happened, and I know that I don't want this to happen again, I also am now clear about what I do want. So every situation causes people to ask for what they want. So I think once people understand that, then we can relax, right? Because if you're being happy and life is automatically causing you to ask, I would say this to you, because this is where I am, and this is what I've been working on, and it's amazing, right? And I'm not sure if you got there yet, like where you are, but the next step, really, for me, once I got to where you are, was releasing resistance. And that's what I mean.
Yes.
We resist the things that happen along the way, which keeps us from it, which keeps us from what we're designed. So my thing is just to get resistance free and let go of resistance of all things. It's the most freeing thing. It's one of the most freeing things after you get to where you're talking about you are, just letting go of the resistance. So if this thing happens, even though I don't understand, I know that it's supposed to be happening because it's getting me to where I want to be, even though it may not feel good depending upon the perspective. So it's just letting go of the resistance, and just going with the flow.
Right. And I understand. I understand that needs to happen, and that's what I need to do, is letting go of the resistance. And in some cases, it flows easily. It's easy to let go of the resistance. But sometimes when we get comfortable, in my case, sometimes when I get comfortable and settled, in what feels good, when something knocks me off my vibration, sometimes it's a challenge to get back into that vibration of feeling good, because you are complacent in where you were. But you have to understand it's always forward movement, because if you don't understand that it's forward movement, you're just going to always be, once you get knocked out of your vibration, you're just going to spend more time out of vibration than in vibration. So it's literally it's literally it should come natural. Getting back into vibration should come natural. You should naturally feel good. So my challenge is the frequency in which I am out of vibration and in vibration had varied. Now I'm at the point where I'm more in vibration rather than out of vibration. So, the ratio is more in vibration, because I know how to get back there, because I know how it feels to be out of vibration, and I don't, you just mentioned that. I know how I feel. I know this is not in alignment with who I am. This doesn't feel good. I need to get back over here, because this is where I belong.
Right.
And once you realize that, hey, I just got knocked out of vibration. This thing that happened to me is not a big deal. Let me get back over here in my happy space so I can continue my forward movement. I'm no longer stuck.
Right. Okay, right. So let me get stuff. Just amazing stuff, right? I do, because you know how I am when it comes to words and the topics that we're talking about now. So I would choose different words when we say knocked off, because I don't know that something could knock us off our vibration. From my perspective, it's still a choice. We're still choosing to feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because things or people don't make us feel. We choose to feel. So that's why for me, I allow myself that space to feel. Right? You know, we've got 17 seconds. So I allow myself that space to feel without placing the blame, because that's what we subconsciously do, is place the blame on the thing or the person or the circumstance or whatever. But it's not I allow this thing to get me off of my vibration and not, because knock me out feels like the power is in the thing and the power is not in the thing if we're talking about we're source, right? So the power is not. So that's one thing. And then So I had a conversation like this the other day, and what I told them, the person that I was talking to was, because he's like, well, when I'm not on vibration or when I'm not feeling good, it's challenging for me to get back. Just exactly what you just said. So my advice was to go to something that makes you feel good every time you go there and leave that thing alone. See, it's not about the thing. It's not feeling good about the thing. It's about feeling good in general. So if you're struggling with a particular thing, leave that thing alone and go to something else that feels good, because feeling good is feeling good. And when you feel good, you get more good.
Right. I understand now.
Yeah. So it's okay to allow the space. It's okay to allow the space to feel. We just do it, and it goes back to what we're talking about, because we're still deliberately creating. Because I know that I'm not going to stay in that space long enough to create something that I don't desire. But the human side of me, right? The human side of me, this is what helps the human side of me. So I will allow myself the space to do that without staying in that space long enough to create something that I don't desire. Without placing the blame, because that's the biggest thing, is to place the blame on something else, something outside of us.
Right.
Because no person can't knock me off my vibration. No circumstance can knock me off. If I'm off, I chose to be off.
Right.
And that just takes ownership, right? And that takes the ownership, and it really offers a level of clarity in ourselves, which we need, because, again, when we get clear, then we add all the stuff. So, yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. Amazing.
So you started off by saying, so this is helping the group, you said?
Yes. Occasionally, Josh and Antea and I, we would have conversations about our days and our growth and, our level of understanding. So, Josh and I, since he's here in LA, we spend quite a bit of time together. So when we, interacting with each other, we can definitely, it's just amazing. Like when our energies, when we're amongst each other, the energies is just like, things just happen for us. Like that, we just look at each other in awe, and it's fun. It's fun because we get it and we understand it, and we know why we're experiencing all of these things, because our level of clarity and our expansion. And so we talk about these things, our experiences daily, and kind of help each other out. And Antea as well, so we I credit you for, like, just being there and helping me and helping my friends, and introducing the law of attraction, and helping us understand these concepts and ideas and way of life. So it's amazing. Like I said before, I just feel so lifted and happy and elated and centered and just one. You know, it's like it's the feeling that I cannot. No one word could really explain it. You know, I don't think there's a word in the vocabulary that would explain how I feel.